Hi, Yaquan Holloway with Holloway Consulting Group, and I am thinking about the fact that we are closing up this great year. 2021 has been a real experience, and I'm sure that many of us that work on projects and initiatives, we're thinking about closing some of those out. But for the most part, a lot of the work that we're engaged in will go into the new year, right? And so it's not like I get to the end of 2021 and the project is done. Still, I think this is an opportunity for us to breathe new life into some of the things that have been going on for some time. And so I was jotting down a list of things that I should consider, things that we should all consider as we continue to move forward. One, for the most part, a lot of us have been dealing with initiatives and we're resource constrained. People are spread very thin, or there are not a lot of people working on the effort that you're focused on. That may not change as we go into the new year. But what's a fresh way of addressing the resource issue for a project or for an initiative that you're assigned to or that you're leading? How do you go about potentially getting more help? So I think it's very important to ask those questions or to think about what pieces of the effort aren't really as important as they were at the top of the year. Sometimes we get into a rut of what I like to call strategic inertia, and we just keep doing things because we were told to do them. But maybe the business doesn't want that anymore, or maybe the world has changed enough that it's not as important. So for those things where we're resource constrained and they're limping along, first of all, is it even the right thing to still be doing? If it is, then let's see if we can get it staffed right. And if it isn't, how do we pause it? How do we stop it? How do we take what we've learned and archive it and move to things that are more or a better use of our time? Are we on the right path? That's another question. Back to the strategic inertia, we just keep going, we keep going, but are we doing things? Are we going the direction that we should? And if we're checking in on a consistent basis with our steering committee or the stakeholders or sponsors of the effort, then we should have a clue as to whether we're on the right path or not. And we should be having those kind of pregnant pauses and having people ask questions of the project leadership or the project team. But if we're not doing that, we could very well be a little bit off the path. Maybe we're not focused on scope like we thought we were. So just another plug there for making sure that you have the right governance around your efforts so that the right people are checking in and thinking about what it is you're doing. Oftentimes you get something, you run off in a corner and you go work on it, and then it comes out of that dark corner a year later or a year and a half later, and you're over there in Denver, but you really should have been in Maine. So check back in. Are you still on the right path? In the first place, did you even have a charter or a project plan, right? Maybe you just got started and you never got around to that. And so if you don't have a project charter that the steering committee has signed off on, it's not too late. You could couch it under the whole heading of, as we go into 2022 or we go into this new year, let's just take a break, make sure that this project still is a great reflection of our intentions and that we are full steam ahead, right? And so you could put it in the whole box of, we're just checking in, year-end checkup, but this might be an awesome time for you to get a charter or a plan where you haven't had one and you kind of feel bad about it. You don't want anybody to know, oh, I haven't really had a plan. This is a great time to bust it out on, hi, you've never reviewed this, but here it is, right? This might be a great time as well to check in with the project team that has been laboring away at this effort and ask them, what do you think is positive about what we're doing? What do you think is negative? So that as we dust off and go into this great new year, that you can take some things that they've said and stop, start, or continue some things. If the relationships are there and the trust is there, you can have those conversations face to face. But if you feel like people are going to be a little bit hesitant about really sharing their feelings, then this might be an awesome opportunity for an anonymous survey. And, remember, feedback is a gift. And if you don't like what they said, re-gift it. But that's just a couple of things I'm thinking about on as I go into 2022 with some things that I am so ready to end, right? It's just been a long time, or things that I'm enjoying. I think this is a great time to take a pause, take a look, figure out a new way to approach things in this new year. I tell you, December the 31st is like my favorite day of the year because I love a new year. I see it like a fresh slate. And I know a lot of the things that we're dealing with, our pandemic, illness, challenges, climate change. I mean, you name the list. I feel like we've just been on a roller coaster. Those things will still be with us. We will still most likely be living in unprecedented times. But I think we can always renew our minds, right? We can always renew our minds. And December the 31st for me is like an opportunity to just say, click, switch, renew my mind. And so I hope you're able to renew your focus or renew how you've been approaching things that you've been focused on in this year. If you like to talk about it, you need help with somebody that's more objective on the topic because you've gotten way too married to it, reach out, info@hollowaycg.com. LinkedIn, you can reach out at Holloway Consulting Group. You can reach out at Yaquan Holloway. And I'd love to be that objective person for you or someone on my team. Have an awesome day. Thank you.